minute, don't know. Got a minute of your time. Got a minute of your.
I sure gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my sight. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. God of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its side. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.
Well, hello everybody. Right before as I was counting down, I'm like, you're doing the intro. We're like,
yeah, I do the exit.
And
you do the intro.
It's been so long
I
that
know.
we're just trying to get back into this.
I'm sweating like a sinner at church. Holy crap.
Let me do the intro. You told me to do the intro. Let me just do the intro. Hey everybody, welcome to our podcast From Vision to Success. It is a weekly podcast that sometimes does go MIA. Mostly in the summer, but we will be way better to tell you when we are going MIA for a season. But we're here. We love to talk about all things mindset, communication, friendships, everything.
Everything. Anything that has to do with human progression. So somebody was asking me, so what is this podcast is all about? And I'm like, dude, and this is a close friend.
You're like, how dare you?
And I'm like, do you not know what the VS stands for? And he goes, I have no idea. So VS, for those who are joining us for the first time, or if you are a bad friend,
like you have no idea. You have not been listening to us.
Right. VS stands for Vision to Success. So every goal, every success that you have, whether it's family, whether it's a stay-at-home mom or dad, whether it's business, education, whatever, it always starts with a vision. Always. The end goal is the success when you get there, but everything always starts with a vision. And what this podcast is dedicated, it is to the two. How do you get from the vision to success? And so we talk about anything that is human progression, anything that's human behavior.
Listen, even in the scripture it says, when the people have no vision, they perish. So you got to have a vision of where you're going.
When people have no vision, they perish. That's exactly what it is. And today we have a phenomenal podcast.
I don't know how serious I can take you if you have a bow on your head.
Okay, there.
Now you look like you are meant to be in the desert on a camel.
On a camel with my bare head open. I'm just going to leave it on there. I'm sweating because I've been running around trying to do like this. So we rearranged the podcast setting, right? Mm-hmm. It used to be somewhere else.
In the back. So if you see the back, that's where the camera used to be facing now where we're facing. Does that make sense? So now you see basically Miguel's desk, some of the stuff that he has is actually much better organized today. My goodness.
I told you.
Last week, there was papers all over, clutter,
bad.
Clothes, underwear.
Underwear. That's not it. So I was reviewing some of the comments that we had last week, and somebody said that I'm the new definition of a wingman.
Oh, to me?
No. To me.
You are your own wingman. I don't understand. So go explain it to me.
My elbow.
I thought you meant like a wingman, like
somebody
who. But now I realize is a literal wingman.
Literal wingman.
It's not the person that goes with another person to like encourage them and be like, yeah, this is a legit wing. Show the people.
I am not.
If you guys were not here in our last podcast, you need to go and check it out at some point. He realizes that he has a wing for an arm. I mean, it's been 46 years. He's never known. And on his 46th year, he realizes this. So show the people. Show them.
I know. I'm self-conscious.
So it's like a little like, boop. If you think about Wolverine, think about that, but just one on his elbow. I saw.
You are a horrible friend. I'm telling you right now, you are not a nice person. Oh my gosh.
I'm a super nice person.
Now I remember why we took so much, like 5 months off.
You needed to heal.
I needed to recoup my self-confidence. Even Mike, when you go home, he's like, Maria, that was a bit too much.
His like shocked face. Mike is a fan of Miguel here, so
Yeah.
he will 100% take his side over mine
So-
all the time.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, this is a regular elbow, right? I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, it
just,
has a mini wing.
it's just
This is
curved.
like a tiny
you
one.
have it. Show your elbow
Okay, hold on.
to the side, off to the side. Show this one. Show this one.
Okay,
So then it
okay,
can
you're
show
right.
here.
Okay, hold up.
Okay, so this is a regular elbow, right? See, there's
Oh, yeah, I do have a
there's
mini
there's a
wing.
little nubbit there, and then we all have it, right? We all have that nubbit.
Yeah, I realize we all do.
That's normal. That, my friends, is normal. But then you get this.
I feel like it needs to be filed down.
That's
like,
that's what I said last week.
Yeah.
Is there a way that I can file this down?
I think you have to check it. No, because that would include surgery, right? If it doesn't bother you, maybe it gives you superpowers.
Dude, that is a 90-degree angle right there.
That's more than a 90.
Holy crap.
That's more than a 90.
Like,
A
look at that.
90 is a direct like that. That like
See here, it starts to disappear. Like, it just never really shows. Where you go? It never really shows, even when I bend it. Here, it shows all the way. Anyways, so the point is, I gotta get this checked because I think
he has a
condition.
condition. It's okay if it doesn't bother you. It's just a little
I
cord.
know, but now it's like every time people touch my arm, don't touch me. Just get away from me. Anyways. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw the description, but we have something extremely exciting for you for the next couple of weeks, starting today. So
Yeah.
if you've joined us in the past, you'll know that normally what we'll do is we'll take a topic and then we'll create series.
Yeah, we'll dive deep into it, right?
We'll dive deep into it, like step process and things like that. And though Marie and I were working on a downloadable and a free webinar, like a free course that we can do, like something that you can log in to better help with communication specifically to your children.
Absolutely. It's helping you to have the relationship that you want with your children.
Right.
Right?
Which
And-
is through communication.
Exactly. That's step number one. So you and I are very similar with regards to the way that we communicate with
Yeah.
our kids.
Yeah.
And there are different tools based on how we communicate, based on the books that we've read, based on things that work for us that we want to share with you.
And it's not stuff that we've read and now we're teaching. It's stuff that we've done and that we do and that has worked. Either
Well, I've read. I know you don't read, but I've read.
I read.
He's like,
I read. So it's stuff that I read, but then it's stuff that we've tested on our own children. So they've been the guinea pigs. And
absolutely.
and it's stuff that's worked. And then I mean, even in our professions or callings at church, you work with the youth, and so do I. And so these are practices that get taught at a church level as well.
I would think so too.
And so, anyways.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because I've been in my volunteer position I work with young women from the ages 12 to 18. And I also, because I work with young women, I also work with young men. And I have seen an incredible relationship building opportunity in the last 3 years. I feel that I can communicate with them. I can talk to them. Anyway, so we want to share with you these tools. If you don't have teens, if you don't have kids, that's totally okay, because these same tools will help you in every single relationship.
And I have a big surprise for you guys. I'm going to play a little game with Maria. She doesn't know about this yet.
Of course.
She hates it when I do this. But here's the thing is,
by we, I mean I.
I am going to save every marriage out there today.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I would like to see. I would like to see, because I know the communication issues you have with Taylor. No, I'm just kidding.
listen to me. I promise, this is a tall order. It's a big order, ladies and gentlemen.
It is a big order.
I am going to save every marriage or any like husband and wife.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this rolls out, and I'm interested to see how you're going to do it.
The top 10 things that wives or women say, but really mean.
Ooh, translation. Yes. Mike is so good with translation. So is Raquel. So I am excited about this. So you're saying that you're a translator, that you can actually translate.
I am a woman whisperer.
I don't believe this. I haven't known him for like so long and haven't been. We've gone on double dates. You
I know we've
and
done.
you know I've been witness to
I'm a re-
communication issues.
I'm a reformed man. I've learned these 10 things.
Where's Tegan? Let's bring her down.
No. We don't have to witness
Let's
this.
Tegan. I know you're upstairs.
No, she's
Come
not.
downstairs.
She's not watching. So she.
You know what? Let me call her.
No.
Let's-
Hang on. We don't need witnesses. These are 10. I'm a reformed man. These are 10 things
Okay.
that have. That
We should call her. And
no,
then
why?
We can put
To,
it like
to do
this.
what? To do what? We don't need to bring her.
If you want me to call her, please let us know. Comment below. Who's phone? That's not my phone.
Oh, you know what it is? Because this is taking. So,
Is she calling?
so my laptop broke,
Mm-hmm.
and then where'd it go? So my laptop broke. Oh, okay, cool. So my laptop broke, and so then I've been using Tegan's laptop, and then her laptop is connected to her phone, the iPhone universe, multiverse.
Yeah.
So she can receive calls on the computer. So somebody was just calling her, and it came onto the computer.
We should just answer. No, I'm just
We should
kidding.
have answered. I'm like, hello.
Anyway, okay. So tell me about the. Okay.
No,
let's do
but
it.
first we play the game. We got to talk about what. So there's 10 things.
There's 7 things.
There's 7 keys. That's
There's
right.
7
7
keys
keys, not
that-
10 things. 7 keys today. It's the 10 translations that we're gonna do. The 7 keys, and we're gonna start with key 1 today.
I'm excited.
And then as we develop these keys, we should be taking notes too, dude. Where's the?
But we'll go back on it. We can always go back.
Hang on. Okay, keep them entertained.
Keep them entertained. Anyway, so it is the 7 keys that we're going to be talking about. I think we're probably going to do this series for a little longer than 2 weeks because it's a lot. And
Oh,
we want
yeah.
to be able to breadcrumb it, give you a little bit at a time so you can incorporate it into your life. You can try it out, you can test it out, and then you can build upon what you're getting, right?
Yeah, but it's 7 keys. Like, I mean, we can potentially do
Maybe like-
one key a week, right?
Yeah, I think that's great.
I love today's key.
Okay, so you want to share today's key?
Today's key is active listening.
Ooh, that's a good one, eh?
So what does it mean to be an active listener?
Okay, so active listener, it's
What?
definitely not that. So
I got a joke for you.
definitely not that. That he is not an active listener.
Hang on, I got a joke for
So
you.
I have to tell you that when I share things with you, I know when I've lost you.
Why?
Because you get this glossy look,
What?
and then I know, and then you all of a sudden said the most random thing.
No,
2
no.
minutes after, you say the most random thing.
Wait, then stop TED talking me then. Like, honestly, you're like, honestly, even this morning, I wasn't gonna call you up, but I'm gonna
Okay,
do it
tell
right
me,
now.
which
No,
one?
but that's okay though. That's okay. I enjoy it because when I tune back in, I come back in right at the good part. Right, I'm like, oh, that's
You know
right.
that song, Fast Forward to the Good Part?
Yeah, fast forward. Let's fast forward to the good part. No. And Elias does that too, and I feel bad because I know that some people. Oh, you know who? I knew somebody, a family member. I'm not gonna mention who it is, but this person. Oh my! If you ask me, so what it like? How's your day today? Like, wow. Back in 1978 when I was born.
Yes. Back in the day of the Lord.
Yeah. So days really started at the age meridian times, which is
I should answer
year
like
0.
that. That's what I need to do. I literally need to do that.
So
anyway,
at family reunions, I always avoided. I feel bad.
yes,
Like,
you should feel bad.
no, I don't feel. Yeah, I
We're
do.
talking about active listening today, so you need to go in there and actively.
I know, but like, how was your day? And then when it's,
You asked.
I'm
You're like, I'm looking for a yes and no
Listen,
answer, good or bad.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. There was this person, not a family member. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the hospital because they were sick, and so same profile. They just the history of the world before. So I called. As part of my calling, I called. I'm like, hey, how are you? He's like, doing well. I'm like, so what's new? And then,
He took you on a journey.
but here's the thing is, right? It was at nighttime. It was like around 9:00 at night.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. I had him on speaker. I fell asleep for an hour. And I wish I was joking here. Like, I am not joking right now. I fell asleep for about an hour. I woke up close to 10, and my boy was still talking. And I felt a little bit bad, but like, I mean, even if I was active listening, what could I have said at that point to contribute to the conversation?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a conversation. At that point, it was a sermon, right?
Yeah.
And so, but Yeah. And there are a couple of people in my life that do the exact same thing.
yes.
And so,
Yesterday, we have a group youth chat for our church, and it's for my youth calling along with with the young men, right? And I needed to get numbers. There's an event going on Saturday, and
yeah.
I wrote like 3 sentences. And Mike is like, you wrote a novel. You didn't need to write that much. He's like, so he answered it, what I was asking. He's like, because we needed to get people going and they needed to understand what you meant.
There's somebody at church that does that. You send them an email and it comes back with like 3 PDF files answering the email. It is
That's me.
no, it was no. But like I'm telling you, and this person is kind of known and anyway, so there's a reputation.
You know what? It's okay. People, you know what? Anyway,
I know.
Today we're not talking about that side of talking. Today what we're talking about is focusing on the relationships that matter to you and what we
Right.
can do with regards to active listening.
And these people matter to me. Do you want to hear a joke?
No, I don't. Let's definitely don't do that. So what is actually you should answer. What is active listening?
Active listening is like if somebody wants to tell somebody else a joke and they're not listening, that is not active listening. I really want to tell you this joke.
Before you tell me this joke, what we're going to do, we're actually going to explain what active listening is.
Yeah.
Is listening for the emotion behind what a person is saying.
Okay.
And you're not listening to answer. You know how sometimes you're listening and you're like formulating the answer in your mind?
Oh, yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like, because you're trying to answer.
And you're
or
just
put in-
waiting for the pause so you can intercede.
Yeah, it's not about you giving your 2 cents. It's not about you giving advice. It's just about you being present and understanding the emotion behind what the person is sharing.
Yeah.
So with active listening, it requires 3 things. It requires listening to the words, listening to the emotion behind the words, and listening and watching the body language. Because I can say I'm fine in 3 different ways, and they all could, although the same words, but they all could mean different things depending on how I say it and my body language.
Yeah.
If I'm crying and saying I'm fine, obviously I'm not fine.
Let me give you an example. Ready? So I do this part of a workshop, right?
Okay.
When you hear the following statement, you tell me what it is.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't steal the money. What does it mean?
That you didn't steal the money.
Perfect. I didn't steal the money.
It's more like a joke, I feel like. You're kind of like, depending who you're saying it to, but
Well, you're like, Miguel, you took the money. We're like, I didn't steal the money.
Oh, I feel like you know who did then.
Okay, but it wasn't me, right?
Yeah, it feels that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't steal the money.
It's like a maybe you did. Like I need to ask you further
Yeah,
questions.
or like bored it, right? Like I
Yeah.
didn't steal it. I bored it.
Yeah.
I didn't steal the money.
Then you stole something else.
Exactly.
What'd you steal?
Yeah. Right? Or I didn't steal, and what was that was the last one? I didn't steal the money.
Per se, but you stole something else?
Right. So same sentence,
Yeah.
but you're highlighting different things
Yeah.
and it means something completely different.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that you should be looking for when people are talking is what words are they emphasizing? And by nature, right, instinctively, you'll pick it up. Like right now, you know, I just highlighted different words and then you automatically pick that up, right? But if you are already forming your own story, if you're already forming your own sentences, if you're already forming, I need to interrupt this person,
Yeah.
you're not listening to the actual words or the meaning behind the words, right?
Yeah.
And so they always say that in acting, the 3 components to acting is body language, voice fluctuation, and tonality.
Yeah.
So no, voice, facial gestures, voice tonality, and body language. Those are the 3 things, forms of communication, right? And so when you are actively listening, you're looking, like what you said, those are the 3 things that you're looking for. Their face, their body language, and their tone. The words that are coming out of their mouth.
Yeah. I read this book that talked about how 80% of our communication is actually based on our body language. Only 20% is based on what we actually say.
What we actually say.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So do you want to hear a joke?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the joke about the cliffhanger?
Mm-mm. Is it right now? Is that the joke? You let me know. Oh my gosh. Let me actively listen to you and watch your body language. And you're smiling, and I feel like that is the joke, the cliffhanger. So awkward, man. Like, remind me again, why do I do this podcast? So stinking awkward.
You have to be in the room. Maria's just like, what's happening right now? So that joke was told to me yesterday. I didn't like it.
By a child?
No, by one of our missionaries.
Okay.
But I didn't like it. So I'm like, tell me a joke. And so they're like, have you ever heard of the joke of the cliffhanger? And like, no. And she just like, she's looking at me and she opens the door. And they walk out. I'm like, come back. Finish the joke. I didn't realize that was the joke.
Yeah. See, you see how quick I am? I realized that was the joke.
You're hilarious. You're phenomenal. You should be a comedian
There we go.
or a bully.
Either one. It works for me.
So again, those are the three things that you need to be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me ask you this. When was the last time that you witnessed you doing your part in active listening and it resulted to a good resolution?
Oh, it was this weekend. So I went on a girls' trip this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, I went on a girls' trip this weekend. We left on Friday, came back on Sunday. We went to Ottawa.
You know that we were supposed to go out on Saturday, right?
We never said.
I know. You're not actively listening.
You're not. I guess I didn't get the memo. I did get a text from Tegan. I didn't get a chance to answer.
No, I know. And we would have canceled anyways.
You guys didn't go?
We had a what?
It was. She said that you guys were going to.
No, not even that. We had made plans to go out for dinner this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. I know. And then the Hadestown thing happened.
Hold on. We had plans for like.
For
This weekend?
for both families to get together.
It's not this weekend. It's next weekend. Is it not next weekend?
No, it was. Well, Tegan said it was this weekend, like the one that just
Oh.
passed. And yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Like, and then she goes, "Oh shoot, we can't go out with Mike and Maria." And I'm like, "You know what happened?" It's like, "Well, we got the Hadestown thing." I'm like, "Well, we'll just send them a message and see if they want to go to the show." And then
had we been in town, 100%.
It was
like. It was so good, right?
It was Broadway like style. It was absolutely phenomenal.
I wish we would have had a chance to go. No, we didn't get a chance. I was away. I went to Ottawa. I went with a few friends of mine, really good friends, and I have a really good friend. Her name is Michelle. You know her?
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah. So her and I have sometimes have conversations, and I have found myself listening to respond. Right. So she'll say something and I'm like, right. And I'm really trying to be a better friend because I shouldn't be that way. Right. Especially when it comes to important topics that are for her or for me, because we have very different views sometimes, like even political views, like views about that kind of stuff. But we're still really good friends. We're still best friends. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I felt like on Friday, we always talk about safe space. And I was like, and she's always like, okay, ready for safe space? And safe space means no judgment, no advice, just listening. Right. So anyway, we had those kind of conversations. And then on the way back, we had a really, really good conversation where it talked about all kinds of things. It talked about race. It talked about oppression. It talked about like the political climate. It talked about like politics and like it was incredible. But I feel for I don't want to say the first time because this is something really that I am working towards. Yeah. I was listening, not to respond, but listening with curiosity and to actually understand how her mind works and what she was seeing and what I can learn from her, right? Yeah. So that was this weekend.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Well, and I just had something recently as well. One of my daughters came up to me last night, Vita, and she said that there is a friend from church, and she's introduced this friend to. The girls are somewhat popular, right? And I don't want to put myself or my family on a pedestal. Like I don't.
They just have lots of friends.
Yeah, we like making connections, right? So one thing that you have to understand: friends and inner circle I consider them to be two different things. It's not necessarily doctrine. This is just my language and my interpretation. Inner circles, it's just you can go deep. You can dive deep into conversation and just you feel like that there's no judgment. And I got 3 of those, right? And then there's like friendships, acquaintances that you're still nice, you're still cordial with them, and you enjoy being in their presence and stuff like that. But you may not have those deep, open conversations with them, right? And we have a lot of those. We have a lot of people that we like to hang around with and stuff like that. Anywho, and whatever you are as parents, you tend to rub that off on your children as well, right?
That's true.
And so my kids have learned to also be social, how to be polite, how to say please and thank yous, how to make everybody feel welcome, right? And so they have a lot of girls that like our daughters, right? They have a lot of friends. So there's this other girl that kind of got introduced or kind of connected with my twins, and they introduced them to their group of friends, their set of friends. So now when this person comes around, they tend to leave my girls and go out and hang out with the other girls and exclude my daughters. And then they're starting to get hurt because they're like, we introduced them to all of our friends. And now when we get together as a group, this person, she leaves us, and then they just run off with somebody else. And she's crying.
Oh my God.
Like she was crying, like she was hurt. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? Before I tell you my advice, what would you say in that situation? I'm actually quite curious because Tegan and I, we didn't have a difference of opinions. Like at the end of the day, we kind of conceded and concluded with the same thing. But in the beginning, we kind of thought differently. And I told Vita that she had one of three options to do. So what would you have said? If Raquel comes to you and says, this is what's happening, I introduce my friends to a bunch of my friends, and every time this person comes around, she leaves me to go and hang with everybody else, and I'm just left standing there.
So there's an initial reaction, but then I don't follow through with that initial reaction.
Which
I'm
is?
like, what the?
Yeah.
Who the they are? That's my initial reaction.
Let's go find.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, let's go beat them up. Like my kids know.
Yeah.
I should tell you a story about Joey. He didn't intimidate a kid, but he did put a kid in his place. Anyway, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah. I will be actively listening to that story.
Okay, so my initial reaction would be to be upset, to feel upset for my girl, obviously for Raquel, right? My second reaction would be to ask questions and just try to understand the situation better. And then I think my counsel to her would be, have you talked to this friend?
Okay.
Have you connected with them? Have you actually told them what's going on and how you feel about it? And then based on that, if she was like, yeah, but she doesn't care, then I'd be like, she's not a friend. And what you need to assess is if you want this girl in your circle, and you need to assess the other friendships that you have as well. So I think I would have to navigate it with her, because in all honesty, I think this doesn't have a one-time solution, but rather is a multi-step process it's like an adventure book. I always see interactions like that. They're an adventure book. You choose option A, this happens. Okay, now what are you thinking of doing, and how can we navigate the situation?
So I got two superpowers. I firmly believe that they're like I'm a Marvel character.
Okay.
My first one is Spidey senses.
Okay, so what'd you say?
I always have this thing. And the next one, and my family hates me for this. Like they hate me for this. Do you remember that scene in Avengers where Doctor Strange is trying to like look at the million different possibilities? But
That's you?
It is. I'm not even joking.
It's just like
I will see in less than 10 seconds, I will see like 20 different possibilities and know the outcome of every single one of them.
Okay, tell me what did you do?
Hang on, I'm gloating right now. Hang on one second.
I don't care.
You're not
about
actively
Avengers.
listening to me, and this is
You're
hurting my
taking
feelings.
me on a journey.
I am.
The same thing that you're
Because
complaining about.
I'm
You're
not-
taking me on a journey, man.
I'm not. Oh, my pen. Hang on. No. Sorry.
He's an old man. He's like.
Hang on. I'm trying to grab my pen. Hang on.
Honestly, thank you so much for our viewers, because I cannot believe you guys stick out with us.
My pen fell, dude.
Anyway, okay, I'm interested to know, what did you do?
So
what did
I told her she's got three possibilities that I saw more. I go, but there are three more likely possibilities that if you take any of these actions, you're gonna come out on top with whatever. I go, option number one is you give yourself a season of separation, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Absolutely.
And then just be in this position, be like, right now, the level of maturity from this person, it's hurting you, and it's okay. And you have other friends, and it's okay to fortify and strengthen other friendships. And if this person might come back, right? And just be like, hey, why aren't we hanging out anymore? And, you can be honest with them and stuff like that. And if you see they change, or they've given you more attention, that's great. But sometimes a season of separation, it creates healing, right? And so that's option number one.
Okay.
Option number two, you tell this person how you feel. And then from there, two more things will possibly happen.
Yeah.
One, they listen to you. And they will listen to you, and they will be like, I'm sorry. I'll make a better conscious decision to whatever. And I go, you're still coming on top, right? Or it can take the other way and they take offense and be angry. This person most likely will go home and tell their mom what happened. Tagging and this person are friends, right? And so I go, most likely this person will come, this mom will come to Tegan, to your mom, and they will start talking it out. And because we've had this conversation, Tegan can set the story straight and say why she said what she said. The mom is a good person. Most likely will go back to the daughter and say, hey, listen, you haven't been nice. And she will properly train the daughter, and the daughter will most likely repent and come back. And then you get your friend back. So I go, whatever one of these three options you take, you always come out on top. And I go, this is a decision that you're going to have to figure out which one that you're more comfortable with. And then that's the one that I can't pick it for you because I know what I would have done. And then, but you gotta pick, and then whatever decision you decide, we're gonna support. And here's the thing about, and this is actually a parent workshop that I always give. Anytime that you're talking to your children, the worst thing that you can do is tell them what to do. Yeah. The scriptures are very explicit about becoming saviors unto yourselves. And so if you are telling your kids what to do, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a point in time when you die. Like you're gone, you're out of this earth. And if your child is used to you always answering and always fixing their problems, and when a parent goes to school and fights that battle with that bully or with that principal, with that teacher, you are hurting that child. Like, oh, I cannot begin to tell you. And poor teacher, right? 20, 30 kids that are not of our own, from different households and being raised differently. And all of a sudden, of course, there's going to be whatever. And so now you just created and caused more problems to a staff member, to a teacher. And at the pandemic, how many parents could not even stand their own kids, right?
They were having a hard time, yeah.
They were having a hard time.
Because they're not used to having all this time with, and plus you have the additional stressors of having to work.
Oh my gosh, right? And so now all of a sudden you're complaining that your kid got an F or your kid got a D because they didn't study, and so my teacher deserves all A's, or they went for a practice and they didn't make it, whatever. Like you couldn't even handle a year of your kids at home 24/7. How are you gonna? What gall are you gonna have to go back to a teacher and start complaining to them about whatever, right? And so don't do that. So anytime I talk to a parent, I always say, give them options, not solutions. Do not fight their battle. And so yesterday I had to really swallow my own pill because I wanted to give her the solution and go fight that battle for her. But I'm like, I gotta take my own medicine. So I gave her 3 options. Told her the outcome of every option. And now she goes, okay. She goes, I'm going to pray about it. And she goes, I'm going to decide.
Yeah. And it's empowering too, right?
100%, right?
I think sometimes we don't realize the power of making decisions has on us to build self-confidence and to have learning experiences, right? Because depending on what she chooses, maybe the solution that she chooses is not going to work out, but then she's going to go to the drawing board and be like, okay,
exactly.
This didn't work out. I know I did it. I won't wonder, I'm going to do something.
Exactly. And here's the thing is, right? That would not have happened if I wasn't actively listening. Right. And so, and you said it even right now, right? The minute, if you would have been in that position, your initial reaction would have been like, let's go beat up this person.
100%. My kids always know. I'm like, I always tell them it's not the first reaction that matters. What matters is the second and the third, right? Because as initial, sometimes we're reactive beings. And if we're having a bad day, if we're stressed out, if we're hungry, we have initial reactions that don't always align with our values. Yeah. So I always say, you know what? The first reaction doesn't matter. Yep. What matters is
no, I totally agree.
Why do you look like the mask? You know the mask with the green this is
why are you so distracted?
This is the vibes
I'm actively listening. Just keep talking.
So actively listening also means not doing things that are distracting.
Wrong. No.
So let me tell you the story, and I'm interested to hear your take on how I handle this, right?
Okay.
So this is a story about my Joey and Ruby.
Oh, yeah. How he beat up some kid.
He didn't beat them up. Okay?
He beat him up. By the sounds of it, this kid beat him up. You beat up.
Listen, our family values.
Did you hold him down while Joey's taking his shots?
You know what? Our family value.
I've done that once.
And this is, you may not align with the way that we see this, but this is exactly what we say. We don't start fights, but we sure finish them.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
No, but in all honesty, I always think that it's important. One of the things that I feel like a bully knows is how they can get away with things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're not confident and you don't put a stop to it, the behavior is going to continue.
Okay.
That's always my thought process. And you know what? The current climate that we live in as well, there's sometimes no consequences for behavior that there should be consequences in schools.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
So listen, whatever we talk about in this podcast,
it's just between you guys and us. Like, don't go telling people.
yeah, don't
Don't call child services.
don't.
Okay, so let me tell you the story. Are you guys ready?
I'm taking notes because I want to timestamp what's happening here.
And you know what? It may be a story that you may be like, I wouldn't have handled it this way, but this is the way that I handled it. So Ruby comes home, and we have a policy. You don't have to tell me everything, but if there is something, like if your sibling tells you something that is going to be harmful to themselves or to others, you need to tell me, right? Other than that, the kids can solve their own problems. They can talk to each other. I encourage them to go to Raquel, to go to their older siblings and talk it out, right? Because sometimes they don't feel comfortable talking to me, which is fine. Okay, so Joey and Ruby. Ruby is in grade 2. Joey is in grade 4. So Ruby comes home, and Joey, we're sitting at the table, and she's like...
Wait, what grade is Ruby in?
She's in grade 2.
Get out of here.
Yeah, Ruby's in grade 2.
She's not in kindergarten?
This guy. He barely even knows my kids' names. And we've known each other for like how many
Ruby,
years?
Raquel.
And then what are my boys' names? I'm intrigued.
You have 2, right? Yeah, because there's 2 names in my head. Because I actively listen.
Okay. Anyway.
Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mike.
That's my husband.
Yeah, that's
Anyway, Joey is
Joey,
the
the one that we're talking about right now.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so Joey comes and he's like, Ruby told me some tea. She has to share it with you, right? And I was like, some tea? I'm
What's tea?
like stuff that happened. Like, the young people nowadays, they're like, ooh, tell me what's the tea, right?
No, I have not heard of
What?
this.
That's like, I feel like that's so old now too. That's like probably not even what the younger kids are using. Yeah. So
Okay,
they use
my
the
bad.
word tea. Anyway.
I keep interrupting you. Sorry, my bad. I'm not actively listening. My bad.
Anyway, so he comes home and he's telling me, and Ruby's like, "Oh, it's okay, Mama. It's okay. I handled it. I have brothers. It's okay." And I was like, "Okay, now I'm interested, right?" I'm like, "What do you mean, right?" So then I go to find out that a boy slapped her.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was a situation. She was in a group. And this boy, they were laughing around, joking around. Everybody was doing the same thing. She goes to do the same thing. And this boy, open hand, slaps her in the face. What would you do? So I'm like, sorry, what? And then I worried about her attitude too, because she's confident. She's also very like rough and tumble. So she can handle herself because she has her older brothers as well, right? And her attitude was like, Mama, it's okay. I got brothers. I can get hurt and I'll be fine, kind of thing, right? And I was like, no.
Oh, wow.
This is not proper behavior. So then we had to talk about proper behavior. I'm like, a boy, 1, you should never get hit. 2, a boy should never hit you, right? So I was like, Ruby, what's this boy's name? Because in my mind, I have to follow it up with the teacher, right? Mm-hmm. She's also in grade 2. So she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, what, is he in your class? She's like, no, we usually play outside. So she didn't know this boy's name. So I was like, could you point him out? I'm like, if he was in a lineup, could you point it out?
She's outside with the chancleta. She's like, this kid is done.
I was told that. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything because I'll go to jail. I'm like, I have kids that will carry it.
Joey, see right there? Sick him.
Okay, so keep in mind, Joey, he's uber confident. He's done football. He's very athletic. He knows what it means to look intense. He's played football, so he's learned that very, very well.
Oh, and that picture that you posted of Mike?
Handsome, right?
I was turned on.
My gosh, this man. Oh my gosh.
I was like, who is that boy?
Seriously, so sexy. Like this man, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wouldn't use sexy.
Anyway, get back to the story.
I know. You said football, and I just saw the picture that you posted, and I was like,
okay. I also coached Joey's football team, right? And if you know anything about football, it's very intense, highly disciplined. Like we're talking about 7 to 10-year-old kids doing insane amount of conditioning and being yelled at. It's just the nature of the game, right? Anyway, so I'm like, Joey, you're gonna handle this. Because as a family, we stick together. And if she can't do it, you're going to go and handle it because nobody treats your sister. So he's like, Mama, I got this. What do you need me to do?
Oh, my
Nobody, listen.
Mom, I'm packing. Get what else you want me to take?
Listen,
Switchblades,
I'm like-
butterfly knives.
I'm like, when you mess with my child, you're not just messing with one child. This is we're a family
This is a
unit.
bunt event.
Listen, exactly. I'm like, because sometimes the issues, sometimes kids think that I never want my kids to feel like they're on their own. They have siblings, they have parents. I will not fight their battles unless.
See Maria. Bunts, assemble.
Yes. They'll 100%.
With the hammer. Ah!
Bunts assembled, all right?
All right, keep going.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
yeah.
then he's like, Mama, what do you need me to do? I'm like, all right. I'm like, show me that football face, right? So he has this face that he looks intimidating, right? He's like, he has this face and he's a bigger kid, whatever, right? And I was like, Joey, you're going to handle this. I'm like, what you're going to do, you're going to have Ruby point who this little boy is because he's in grade 2, right? I'm like, you're not going to touch him, though. You're not going to punch him. Like, you're nothing physical. Like, that is not what we do, right? And so I was like, you're going to go up to him, and then you're going to say, don't ever touch my sister. Because if you touch my sister, you're going to have to deal with me, right? So he's like, and then I figured out this kid goes on a bus as well, right? He's not in my kid's bus. He's in a different bus. They have this.
The recon behind.
Listen, I'm like, don't, whatever, judge me all you want.
I'm not.
but-
I am so beyond impressed. In a matter of like less than 24 hours, you knew this kid. He wasn't in the grade. He takes the bus.
Yeah,
like you knew everything about his underwear size. Like you know everything about this kid. You are
Listen,
ready. Yeah.
the thing
you
is
will not
that
pass a criminal record reference check. Keep going.
I always feel there's natural consequences to every action, and there is a consequence. You are physical with my child. Had this not been physical, because my Ruby has had other issues with other kids,
Yeah.
navigated those, that's fine. But I'm like, you get physical, I'm like, this is not okay, right? And what happens is that the school is not really going to do anything. They didn't see it happen, and they're just. There's been so many crazy things that I've been aware that has happened, and there's no consequences, right? There's no expulsions, suspensions barely happen, and they're pretty traumatic events, right? Anyway, so I was like, okay, he takes the bus. Okay, kids verified that he takes the bus. So after the bus they have about like a 15-minute period where they're outside all playing together, and there is supervision, right? So I tell him, I'm like, okay, you're going to go up to him. This is what you're going to say. And then you're going to.
Is this kid the same age as Ruby or just older or?
No, he's the same age as Ruby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's,
In
had
grade
he
two.
been, had he been younger, I would have handled this different. But I'm like, he was the same age.
Yeah.
He open slapped her.
I know.
Right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm like, this is not okay, right?
Okay, so get to the good part. Yeah. I want to hear what happened. so he was packing. Okay,
He
keep
was
going.
packing, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets to school. So this is the next day now. I'm waiting, right? And no, I think the next day we ended up going to school late. Joey couldn't handle it that day. So I told him, I'm like, you know what to do for the next day, right? He's like, I got this, Mama. And I was like, all right, right? And then Jesse's like, oh, I wish I was in the school too. And I'm like, babe, you can't go to the school because you're in middle school now. This is not okay. Like, we can't, because I have a grade 6 son as well that he can't. I'm like, no, you can't. I'm like, don't worry, Joey's going to handle it. So there's the next day that happens, right? They get to the schoolyard. And Joey,
Are you witnessing this?
no, I'm not witnessing because this is what Joey and Ruby tell me when they come back after school, because I'm like, what happened? I need to know details, right?
Okay.
So I told him, if you get called, if for some reason the principal talks to you, if I get called from a principal, you're not in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will handle it. Don't worry, right? Because you're never gonna get in trouble for standing up for your siblings, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he comes home. He's like, all right, Mama. He's like, this is what happened. He's like, I went up to Ruby and she pointed out who it was. So then I went up to him and was like, don't ever, with his face, right? He's like, don't ever touch my sister again. And then this boy was like, and he's like, she slapped me first. And he's like, wait a minute. Because also Joey is very fair. So you have to know that about him. He is when I told him that I was bullied and when I was young, this boy cried. Like, this is how much he cares and he loves, right? So he's like, wait a minute. He's like, Mama, I walked over to Ruby. I made sure to keep my eye on him. I asked Ruby. Ruby said she never touched him. So then he went back to the kid and he's like, she never touched you. You never touch her again or else you'll have to deal with me. And then the boy goes, and then this is what he says. It's a yes or no answer. this little boy was like, he's like, okay. And then he ran off, right? And he's like, yeah, that was it, right? Like, that was it. So then the school, like, thing is going on and everything. So then we're here at recess, and Ruby's with her little group of friends. This kid is again there, right? And this kid is being super mean to another girl. And so this is what Ruby says. She's like, do you want my brother to handle it again?
Wow.
And the kid was like, and he stopped and ran away, right? So there's been no issue since that, right? But I'm like, sometimes kids do things because they think they can get away with it. Yeah. Anyway, this is how we handled that situation.
I need Jesse, Joey to just come with me to some of my adult appointments.
No, he's like,
and just be like, you mess with him, you're gonna mess with me.
Seriously, like I was so happy that to him it was like, what do you need me to do, mama? Like that was his attitude. His attitude was not like, oh, I don't want to do it. He was like, no, my sister got slapped. This is not okay. And then we had a conversation about hitting, right? And I was like, it's never okay to hit. I'm like, you never get hit. I'm like, however, if you do get hit, it is more than okay to push the person and to defend yourself. And then you run away and get a teacher, right?
First, you stab the person and then you run and walk.
Anyway, so that is my story. I'm like, and I stand by it. I feel like that situation was handled golden.
It's a scary story. I do not want to mess with any of the bunts, except for maybe Mike, because that was one hot picture. That was one hot picture.
I know he looks so good.
He does. Mike, if you're listening.
Oh my gosh.
So I told you that I was going to save your relationships out there, right?
All right. Tell me.
So here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I did a research, deep dive on the following subject. Deep. And I have the 10 most common things that a woman or a wife will say. And I hope this is not considered mansplaining. Am I gonna get canceled for this?
Have you not even seen they have mansplaining and they have something for women?
Oh
too.
yeah,
women. What is it?
Yeah, mansplaining and woman.
Something, but it killed me because I'm like, here is like people making videos of men explaining and like everybody's laughing, and then as soon as like somebody makes a video about a woman, everybody's like upset about it. I'm like, like, seriously. Anyway, those are my own personal.
It was funny. Oh, I need to find.
What is it? It's like women something.
Yeah, hang on. Mansplaining, man. It sounds like a Latino came up with the word. It's a mansplaining, man. Mansplaining versus.
Woman something. Anyway, okay, do your thing. Because you know what? Today is Remembrance Day as well. And it starts at 11. So we should end the podcast before 11.
Oh, we should.
Yeah. So remember, it is Remembrance Day, a day that we remember our fallen soldiers, their sacrifice. And because of them, we get to live in a country like this. So it's pretty awesome.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's fine.
So we got 10
minutes.
minutes.
Ask me the question.
Okay. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
These are 10 things. When she says, I'm fine.
Upset right there. The I'm fine means I'm upset.
Yeah, I'm definitely not fine. And you should probably figure it out right away as to why.
Yes, you probably should ask a question.
All right. When she says, whatever you want.
That means there's something that she wants that you need to do. Or actually just start spitting out ideas and then be like, do any of these sound like what you want to do? And then...
It means do what I want or face the consequences.
Yeah. When Mike is like, well, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, I honestly don't know. And I'm like, whatever you want, right? And then he's just like, okay, like starts going off with ideas.
Number 3, I'm not hungry.
Oh, she's hungry. I'm hungry. When I say I'm not hungry, and then Mike always makes a double sandwich. He's like, just in case, because I will be eating.
Yeah, I'll be eating your fries if we go out.
Just get extra.
Yeah.
If you don't get extra, if she doesn't eat it, you'll just bring it home with you.
Yeah. But she'll eat it. She'll eat it. Number 4, I'll be ready in 5 minutes.
Time's up by 5.
10, 15 to 30 minutes later.
Time's up at 5.
5 minutes can mean anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes.
When I text you, I'll be there in 5. He's like, she'll be here in 15.
It's up to you.
I feel like depending. Is she upset and saying it's up to you? Or is it like, either way, it's not up to you.
Okay, let's go for dinner. Where do you want to go? It's up to you.
You just always have to give options. You can't just drive. Unless you know where this place that she really loves. Make notes. Honestly, if she says that she really loves a place, make notes.
Yeah. You better choose correctly or else.
That sounds intimidating.
I know.
I never say that. That sounds very intimidating.
Okay.
Unless I'm joking, but I wouldn't say that.
Joey, this is what you're going to do. You're going to grab the kid by the collar. You're going to lift him up in the air, throw him across the room.
No, I did not say that.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
She's frustrated. Because she's angry.
Yeah, and so this is an interesting one. She says, okay, I am definitely mad, but we can revisit it later.
I think it's depending on the person who says that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like fighting in public. So I will probably be like, we'll have to talk about this later.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7. Oh, no. Yeah. Number 7. I don't care.
Ooh, she's angry.
She cares a lot, and you should too.
So hard. I sometimes think, I'm like, it must be so hard for men. Like, just to try to figure it out.
I am, that's not for me to say. I'm happy.
He's like, has a twitch.
Number 8. Wow, that's great.
It's not great.
She's just being very sarcastic.
Yeah.
Number 9. I have nothing to wear.
She just doesn't feel good about herself. She has lots to wear, but just doesn't feel good about the way she looks right now.
Holy crap, word for word. And again, we have not coordinated. This is all new to, this is the first time she's hearing all of this. It means I have a closet full of clothes, but none of them fit the vibe that she's going for.
Yeah.
Right? So in that case, and she's like, you have to go somewhere, and she's like, I got nothing to wear. Like, what can we do? To be active listeners, should we just be like,
is there anything I can do to help?
Okay.
That's it. Like, I feel like that would solve some of those issues. Because it's not really about you with that problem. It's about, like, the way that we are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If I say that, it's because I'm not feeling good in my skin right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a hard one. I don't know if you're going to get this one.
Okay.
Number 10, the last one.
Stop reading your
I know.
wife's text.
That was my bad. I thought it was for me. Oh,
I think when it comes to it's up to you, it's because of this, because of decision fatigue. They need someone else to make a suggestion and see if they agree with it. Yeah.
yeah. Bev needs to stop commenting big words.
Decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue.
He does not understand.
I understand fatigue and decision. It's just the way that she works. That's why I never asked her to be on the podcast.
The podcast. That's why you're not on the podcast.
That's why she's not on the podcast, or to be a co-host when you went MIA, because she would make me feel so small and so dumb. All these big words. Barely graduate. I didn't even graduate high school, and then well, listen, Miguel, the decision fatigue back in 1957 that took place over the Meridian of Times. I'm like, relax. This show went to a solo. All right. Number 10. This is a hard one.
Okay.
We should totally. What was that?
Who's texting?
I know.
Who's messaging? Okay, go ahead.
Wait.
That's
That's-
not the podcast.
That's whatever.
You know what, though? You are comfortable speaking about periods now, so.
I am not.
The podcast. You're the one that said.
No. Don't never get that conversation started. So
He's
gross.
like, we're logging off, guys. Okay, go.
Okay, the last one.
Okay.
So gross. We should totally hang out sometimes.
That means it's a no. That means it's yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, yes. That's a no. Unless you're like full blown, like taking out calendars and comparing. That's just a polite way to say
10 for 10.
Did I get 10 for 10?
I'm just being polite, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, it's just a polite way to do it.
Yeah. So listen,
That's
review
it.
these questions, review these statements, go back and take a look at what's going on. And then, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And remember, like kind of taking it back to active listening, the 3 keys to active listening is watching for body language, listening to tone, and
Facial.
like, yeah, facial, and then the feeling behind it. Because even with these questions, is the feeling behind it. It's not necessarily the words.
Yeah. But feeling is going to be hard because if you don't know what they're feeling, like the combination of these three things will
it's a
tell you the
combination.
feeling.
Exactly. Combination of that will tell you the feeling. Because if they're
Yeah.
telling you one thing, but their body language is saying something different, then
Yeah. The minute she's like, I'm fine. You know, like she's saying she's fine, but the body language is just telling you run and hide or you will die tonight, right now.
in your podcast.
I give you frick. So rude.
All right, it is getting to that time where Remembrance Day is about to happen. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Yep.
You
Oh,
did it?
yeah, my outro. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So I have the intro. It's been fixed on the new computer. I don't have the outro yet, so the outro is just right now, right here. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you like, share,
And subscribe.
and subscribe to all of our social sites. And yeah, listen, we have a lot of good things coming up. And then again, next week we're going to talk about the second key to communication, especially with your loved ones and things like that. And then look out for the link for our free webinar that we are creating and that we're going to be putting out for you to get like all of these in a format, plus a downloadable, something like a memory jogger that if you want to engage in communication with someone, we've created some tips, some questions that you can do. You can just get a conversation started, just get people talking. Because at the end of the day, it's that's how you navigate, right? You can't get to a destination by sitting in the parking lot. You got to move.
There you go.
That was deep.
That was deep. That was super deep. All right, everybody. Bye.
Later. So hang on. So as what we're gonna do here? Hang on one second. We're gonna do this one more time, and we're
What are
gonna
we
do it
doing?
proper. Hang on one second. Just chill. Hang on. Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready. Okay. All right. Take care. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Bye.
Get a minute, don't know. Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your.
Hush, you gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. In yourself when no one's to be found. What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind? Guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Take the time to recognize it.
We should exit now. Bye.